Back again. Okay, let's have a look at some ideas to get the most out of the app. I mean, that's what the whole idea is. But we'll start off by looking at branding the app. What I mean by this is ideally make the app icon an image of yourself, a photograph in other words, or if you're going to be part of an agency app, then use an easily identifiable image of the agency. By doing this, you'll constantly reinforce top of the mind recall of yourself. After all, people scan their phones regularly, and each time they do, they will be reminded of you or the agency. Just to be clear, the app icon is that little image that will appear on the phone screen. So it's a picture of yourself, you're going to get seen an awful lot, and that's going to be the top of the mind recall. Keep it simple. The essence of your app is providing information in an easy to find way. So let's not go about this by filling it up with any old stuff just because you can. What we're looking to achieve here is building and retaining a client base, not trying to complicate things. Moving on, we need to keep it relevant. Focus only on features that are of benefit to the user, i.e. property information and local area information, plus any benefits that they can receive by retaining the app. In other words, offers from local shops or trade discounts. So keep it very relevant and focused. As we've discussed before, get local shops, trades and professionals involved. This feature is not mandatory, but really this is what will make a difference in building referral business. It's not going to be hard to do this. After all, you are basically offering them free or low-cost advertising, and all they need to do is give you some details regarding their business, a little advertising spiel and an image or a logo relating to their business, and then send it to us and we will do the rest. I'm sure you know how to approach people to do this, but we can give you some sample ideas or scripts if you wish. But if you go along to any local shop and say that you're going to promote their business, I can't imagine you're going to have too much of a negative response. Once they are on the app, work it. This is the whole idea. It gives you a chance to get to know people. So work it hard. Drop in, or at the very least call them and ask them how they're going. These people, the people working in the area, the shopkeepers, etc., are a goldmine because they're seeing people every day and often learn first if one of their customers is about to buy or sell. And they're people too. They've got families, friends, and maybe they are, or one of their friends is going to sell real soon. If you're talking to them or dropping by to see them, they'll know why you're there, and it's almost inevitable that the talk will get around to real estate. And in that way, you'll get to know if anybody's able to give you some business. Moving on, let's look at helping the businesses to promote. To grow your local business referral base, suggest that you can promote them by sending push notifications to the app users and mention any specials or loyalty programs they have going on. I mean, everybody loves a treat or a discount or some percentage off. I mean, there's any number of things stuffed in the letterbox suggesting just that, so why not do it through the app? You may suggest that you can do a bit of a write-up on them, which can be posted on your Facebook page and theirs. Again, ask them if they want to offer any specials, and who would not love that? And of course, if you're putting them on your Facebook page or their Facebook page, it's more exposure for you and more referral. This also helps make you appear very much part of the local community and actually gives you something relevant to post on Facebook. Because Facebook is supposed to be fun and no one wants to go to your Facebook page and just see an endless stream of property ads. That's pretty boring. Done right, these articles might actually get shared, further boosting your profile. Keep the app fun and dynamic. The big thing here is keeping the app relevant to those who have downloaded the app. The way to do that is providing value, and at the risk of repeating myself, that means competitions, prizes, giveaways. Now, I know you might think this sounds tricky, but it's not. If you have the business owners involved, then you're halfway there. And it really is not too hard to think of some more substantial prize that you can offer, especially if some local operator can see the value of offering a prize as a major promotion for their own business. Because any exposure for them, of course, rubs off on you because they're going through your app. This sort of thing happens all the time. Consider things like a weekend away or a dinner for two, holiday, etc. Local businesses operators might help you by contributing to the competition either financially or with products in return for extra promotion. They also may advertise the competition in their shops as a way of boosting their business. After all, a group effort will greatly reduce any costs that each individual might have to bear, whilst giving maximum promotional benefit. And just a note on this, I know the competitions and prizes and all this might sound a bit tricky for you, but we're not talking about sort of major things here. We can look at relatively small prizes from the shops, even like a 50% off meal at the local pub is something that will keep people interested. And if you're doing any major competitions, remember we can organise all the technical stuff in relating to running a competition, so you don't need to worry. We have all the ability there to range competition from large to small. So if you get something you need to promote, just let us know. Leverage any prize competitions. Make sure you get the maximum exposure for these competitions, as well as being on the app. Promote it once again on Facebook or other social media channels. Offer incentives for sharing. All the time you're building that email list, that contact base. And if you get more people involved, the more chance it has to be referred on and shared out. Further leverage by conducting a live draw on Facebook, or at least recording a short video of the draw that you can display both on your app or on social media. Again, remembering this is about getting you awesome exposure that will be impossible using standard marketing. Just reflecting on this for a little bit, I know you might think you're suddenly going to be becoming a slave to working the app, but that's not true. And if you're wondering about this, just consider what the lifetime value of a client is to you. It'll be far more than the cost of running a competition. Also try and think of another way of getting so much exposure for so little. If still in doubt, ask yourself why so many large and small operators offer prizes as a way of growing their business. A few more ideas on how to grow the number of app users, because having an app without anyone downloading it is pointless. So how do we get app users? Well, when you have a property for sale, you have something people want, especially if it's a new release. Therefore, when people inquire, simply ask them to download the app so that they will have all the information they need: property details, floor plans, ability to book an appointment, offer form, and so on. We've discussed most of those before. If talking to them direct, you might want to make it fun by saying, hey, you might get a free coffee just for downloading. When people suggest you text them a link with all the information they need, make that link a link to your app so that they're not going to the website, they're actually going to a link where they can download your app, and then you have a new client. At open inspections, suggest they download the app or have a QR code they can scan on entry, so they in that way they can be kept informed or of any interest in the property or anything that might be relevant to them, like an upcoming inspection or a changing price or offers being received, that type of thing. Or after they open, assuming that you've collected people's names and phone numbers, send them a friendly message, again suggesting that they will get great value from downloading your app. Include links to your app in all your marketing. I mean, for example, when you send out emails, every time you send out an email, no matter what it might be, just put a little link down there, download our app. You know, the more you do that, the more chance there is of people actually doing it. Ask your vendors to help promote their property by sending links to their contacts and asking them to share this link on social media. After all, they'd be helping a friend. Ask the local business owners to help promote their business by suggesting customers get hold of the app, so they'll be the first to know about that business's upcoming specials. And finally, just get out there. If you want to get a little out of your comfort zone, try this: door knocking. Now, I know that's not going to sit very comfortably with some people, but it does work. Just tell you a quick story. about how door knocking absolutely works, but it's only if you do it right. Because in my case, I went from the worst producing salesperson in a large franchise company to number one in 3 months just by using one door knocking technique that made it so easy to approach people. Now that's another story, but the point is, with the door knocking approach, you can go around your area, not just knocking on people's doors, saying, have you got a listing? You didn't know anybody who's going to sell. You can go around the area letting the people know that you have a local business app that lets locals like them access all sorts of deals, special offers and treats, and it won't cost them a cent. After you've chatted for a while, you might ask if they would like to see it, and if they have their phone, which they will have, you could scan the QR code you have with you, and there you are, it's on their phone. At that point, you might say, hey, look, you can select which bits you want to get information on, and I won't be disturbing you too much, but you can show them how to turn on the alerts for the things they're interested in. Now, at the very least, you've got to know a local. You've had something to chat about with them. You've done something that so very few people are prepared to do. And you have a new app user client. And you never know, you might even jag a listing, but either way, you've been proactive and genuinely offered something of value. Another little story, one lady in real estate who works in an area where there are new subdivisions jumped at the idea of going around the area welcoming new residents and giving them a gift of her app, as she put it, which would help them access the offers we've just been talking about. Needless to say, this lady does very well, whilst others sit back and wait for things to happen. This idea could easily be extended to welcoming any new resident into your area. What better way of welcoming people than there could be than giving them something where they can get local area benefits, and it's really going to get your name out there. This doesn't have to be just people that are moving into properties that you've sold. It can be any new person coming into the area. Here's another idea, renters. Now, remembering the whole idea is building up a base of people that you have the ability to contact and have influence over. Now, renters is a section of the market that is sadly much ignored by agents. In pursuit of sellers, agents ignore this huge untapped resource of future listings. It may be a longer-term approach, but something I learned on when working with our rental department is renters are people too. They may not be renters forever. They have friends and family who own property, and if you develop a relationship with them, they will happily refer you to their contacts. A surprising number of people renting actually do own a property. It's just that for one reason or another, they're choosing to rent for a while. Renters often very sensibly buy what they can afford and rent where they want to live. Many of these people trade their way up, buying and selling investment properties until they can afford to buy the home of their choice. Now, from an agency point of view, the number of rental inquiries is huge, and there is less resistance in talking to them as they do not believe that you want anything from them. They will be very, very receptive to being asked to download your app as a way of being informed of new rentals or how their application's going or anything of that nature. These renters, many of them will not rent forever. They will become buyers and sellers. And if you miss the opportunity to get in touch with them now, then you're just going to be having to hope in the future that they will be contacting you. But if you get the app into their hands and they hold on to it, then you're halfway there. It's a fantastic opportunity for growing your client base. The bottom line with this is to work it, work it, and work it some more. Otherwise, you'll just be carrying on with junk mail flyers and hoping that you jag the odd listing here and there. With this approach, once it's up and going, it will not take much time or effort at all. It kind of almost runs itself, and it will be a very, very successful way of generating work for you. Thank you. Catch you a bit later on.